This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I kind of got stronger, and I just realized, well, if those two things happened to me, like, what's stopping me from playing baseball?
Determination in the face of adversity. A Sarasota teenager is recovering after suffering a stroke. How does this happen to a 16-year-old, and who else is at risk? What do you do if it happens to you or someone you love? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on what can cause a teenager to suffer a stroke coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. Congressman Vern Buchanan voted to repeal and replace Obamacare, and tonight he is dealing with the backlash. Hundreds of protesters gathering outside Buchanan's offices in Sarasota and Bradenton, not for a sit-in, they are calling it a die-in. Buchanan isn't planning to meet with constituents during this week's recess, but that isn't stopping people from showing him what they think of his vote for the Republican health care bill. Die-in support protesters dressed in funeral attire laid on the ground like corpses. One woman saying that she and her daughter have pre-existing conditions and changes to their health care could be fatal to them.
If they strip health care from people, they'll end up really sick in emergency rooms, and we all pay for that then. The people in the emergency rooms pay for it with their health and their lives. So what would I say to him? I'd say to him why he wants my daughter to die.
The health care bill passed late last week. It now goes on to the Senate. 2 Sarasota men are facing felony drug charges after being busted with a massive amount of deadly carfentanil. Michael Sandusky and Michael White were in possession of 67 grams of the synthetic opioid, which is 10,000 times more potent than morphine. 2 milligrams can be lethal. The arrests follow a 2-month investigation by the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Last year, the majority of overdose deaths in Sarasota and Manatee were caused by carfentanil and not heroin or fentanyl. Happening tonight in Venice, a candlelight vigil is about to begin to honor the memory of Eugene and Carol Hayden. They died on Monday when their van drove off the jetty and into the Gulf on Monday. A makeshift memorial now marks the scene. The vigil will begin at 7:30 at the Village of the Isles where the Haydens lived. Hundreds are expected to attend, and no word yet on the funeral arrangements. If you have ever tried parking in downtown Venice, you know it's a problem, and with budget constraints, the city can't afford a project to add more spaces, but now a local business is offering to help. The owner of Sharky's on the Pier is offering $450,000 for the project. The city would pay it back over the next 3 years. The owner says what's good for the city is good for business.
If it improves the area, you know, there's going to be more draw, and anytime there's additional draw to the area, we hope to benefit from that.
The city council will vote on the offer. Mayor John Hollick calls it a serious blessing. For years, the Circus Arts Conservatory has been in desperate need to raise millions of dollars necessary to install air conditioning at its training facility in Sarasota. Coaches say it creates a safety hazard for performers, and the new system could open up the building for new streams of revenue. 2 requests for funds were approved by lawmakers but vetoed by Governor Rick Scott. Now they hope State Representative Joe Gruters can push the funding across the finish line this year. Gruters is sponsoring the request, and he is an ally of the governor.
All I could do is do my best and try to make the case for the governor, and certainly I have the opportunity to make that case with him.
I hate to be overconfident and won't be. We're certainly not in a celebratory state yet.
The Circus Arts Conservatory says the price tag for all capital improvements, including replaced seating and roofing, will have a total cost of $4 million. For the first time in more than a decade, Sarasota County is working to update its trails master plan. County staff are taking inventory of existing trails and identifying the need for future ones. They are looking for input, hosting meetings all week long to find out what residents would like done.
We have beautiful weather. People enjoy that. They love being outside. So, you know, they're giving us a lot of good input because really they're the ones who use our trails. They're the ones who use our facilities. They know where we can have improvement. So their feedback is crucial today.
You can offer your input at another meeting. Will take place at the Northport Library tomorrow at 11 a.m. Dry weather strikes again, causing a brush fire in the heart of North Sarasota County. Firefighters responding to Tuttle Avenue and 57th Street this afternoon as the fire burned through nearly an acre of land with no hydrants nearby. Crews brought their own water and had to contend with strong winds. The fire is contained and no injuries were reported. But Bob, once again, I'm going to ask, is there any relief in sight?
I'll tell you, Alan, not much, really. That's a little too close for comfort, too, right there near some residential areas. The high fire danger will continue. There's a chance for a few showers, but it's not going to help much. That'll happen late Saturday as a frontal system approaches. We'll talk more about that right now. But 84 degrees, the dew point is at 62, and humidity at 47%, and winds out of the northwest at 12, the pressure 2999. That is holding steady for the most part. Temperatures are indeed hot inland and into the low 90s, still mid-90s in Avon Park, Sebring, Lake Placid, all into the mid-90s there. But look at the temperatures closer to the coast, upper 70s to low 80s from Anna Maria southward to Englewood. Well, the burn ban continues for all of our counties with the exception of Hardee and DeSoto counties, and that is going to remain in effect and as a result of that dry condition. You can see that dry air that had been around is slowly moving out of here. That has improved our air quality a little bit. We had high problems with air pollution yesterday and the day before. Not as much today, and more than likely that will go away tomorrow as a result of the mixing of the atmosphere, which is going to be quite nice. Temperatures staying warm too. There is that red flag warning, which is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Areas in the red that you see right there, or pink if you will, have a higher fire danger with the spreading fires if they were to start, as opposed to the coastal locations, just because the humidity is a little higher near the coast, but still, even near the coast, it's still rough going on. And as I mentioned, no real relief in sight after this front moves through on Saturday. It's going to be dry again on Sunday on Mother's Day, so just in time for Mother's Day.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, pulled from the pitcher's mound by a sudden stroke. A Sarasota teenager unexpectedly ends up in the hospital and on the road to recovery. How did it happen and what puts a young person at risk? We'll share his harrowing story when we return.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Whether a family member needs a little extra help around the house, assistance recovering from a hospital stay, or someone to check in on them throughout the week, Right at Home's in-home care is the answer. Your loved one deserves the right care, and now we need caregivers to help give the right care for the right reasons, the right way. At Right at Home, we're one of the only private home health agencies in this area with the opportunity to earn paid time off. If you're someone who loves helping people, take a look at our website and click on Jobs to join our team today.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Almost 800,000 Americans die from a stroke every year, the vast majority older Americans. But tonight, a frightening story of a Sarasota teenager, a star athlete who's made it all the way back from something that is not supposed to happen to a healthy young man. Adam Cellini is here with more.
Yeah, Alan, when this stroke happened, not just sports, but this student's ability to drive, read, and function on his own were all in serious jeopardy. Throwing a baseball is a muscle memory players refine from the first time they pick up a ball.
That's what he used to do.
But during Mitchell Sandlin's junior season with the Riverview Rams, that same innocent motion triggered numbness in his pinky and a headache.
I went to go pick up a baseball, and once I came back up, I just felt those symptoms.
Mitchell missed a day of classes at Sarasota Military Academy before returning to school and practice, but that headache worsened. Then on a Saturday, Bill Sandlin tried to help his son catch up on homework.
When I asked him to read a packet that he had, basically within the first sentence, he was verbally slurring the words.
Doing math was really hard, like adding and subtracting simple numbers and equations.
At that time, we knew we had an issue going on, so we
took him to Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
Staff at SMH transferred Mitchell to All Children's Hospital in St. Pete, where doctors frantically searched for a cause. Overnight, they found it. A blood clot had moved to Mitchell's brain, causing the 16-year-old to experience a PCA ischemic stroke.
He could have called me and said he had a heart issue on the baseball field, but last thing was having a stroke. You just don't hear about it.
According to the American Stroke Association, the risk in children is 11 in every 100,000 each year. Dr. Mauricio Concha says the causes of adolescent strokes are much more diverse than adults.
Strokes don't only happen in the elderly. The strokes happen at any age.
Mitchell visited doctors all over the country looking for answers, but there was nothing conclusive.
My quest was to find answers for my son. Why did the stroke happen, and how can we prevent another one?
For other parents, there are risk factors like these to look out for, along with some warning signs.
Whenever a parent identifies any sudden change in the neurologic condition or performance of their children, they should be worried, and they should call for attention, especially if that change is sudden.
One change for Mitchell was his reading level, which dropped to that of a kindergartner.
Just day-to-day life. There were things he'd forgot.
Street signs, as they were saying, so driving, so that's,
Locations, faces of friends, people that he'd known for years. He'd question who they were.
And physically, he had lost almost 40% of the vision in the upper right quadrant of his eyes. Through months of rehab, the reading would come back. But over the summer, a determined Mitchell returned to the mound despite little progress in his eyesight.
When I went out to release the ball, I could not see at all where the ball was going. Like, I couldn't see the catch or anything. Because I would follow through so much, my head would be down.
But as the summer and fall wore on, Mitchell was slowly becoming his normal self.
The younger and healthier the brain is, the more plasticity, more room there is to repair.
And by spring, he was ready to rejoin his team.
It was just a morale booster for us, because last year was a tough season for us, but seeing him get healthy and seeing him progress made everything a lot more easier as our season unfolded.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing. After sudden weight loss, Mitchell was surprised by another diagnosis of type 1 diabetes. Not to mention 2/3 of stroke victims sustain some sort of neurological deficit. It could even be something as innocent as difficulty focusing.
I kind of just dumbed things down. I realized that school is more about just studying and completing your homework and managing your time.
That hasn't stopped Mitchell from taking up piano and a job since his stroke, all in an effort to get on with his life, because you never know when it might throw you another curveball.
In life, things don't get easier, you only get stronger. I just realized, well, if those two things happen to me, like, what's stopping me from playing baseball?
Now, Dr. Concha did diagnose Mitchell with a congenital blood disorder, which may have caused the clot, and a small hole in the heart that may have allowed it to pass through to the brain. But again, these are difficult to diagnose with 100% certainty.
Incredible. Adam, thank you very much. In a moment, Mitchell Sandlin, his dad, his mom, and a neurologist join us at the trapezoid.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope.
and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service, quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALT named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
Welcome back. Just how rare is it for a teenager to have a stroke? According to the American Heart Association, 11 children per 100,000 will have a stroke. Well, there are risk factors like head injury, dehydration, obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes. In hundreds of cases each year, the cause of strokes are to those age 16 and 49 are unknown. And joining us for more is Mitchell Sandlin, his mother Misty, and Dr. Carla Torres, a neurologist with the First Physicians Group at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. And we have to say, Mitchell is a former teammate of my son Aaron's at the Orlando Scorpions, and they got to know each other the last couple of years. And you know, I've watched Mitchell many times on the pitcher's mound, and he is incredible. So a couple months ago, when I was sitting with your dad, Bill, and he told me this story, I was actually blown away. And I know you told it to Adam, but what was the first indication that something was not right?
Well, it was when my finger went numb. I did not know where I was at, and my upper right eye went blind, and I was just feeling dizzy, and I couldn't really spell anything on my phone. So. Right, and it was at the baseball field, right? Yes. And you went home, and I know I talked to Bill about this, that you just thought that Mitchell was having a migraine of some sort.
Yes. A family history of migraines. He's never had a headache before, really, to note, but it just seemed like some of the symptoms were migraine related.
And how long did this go on until you realized that this was not your ordinary migraine?
Honestly, it went on for about 3 days. He stayed home from school the next day. We took him to the pediatrician, who he thoroughly checked out Mitch and thought as well, perhaps it is his first migraine. And then he went to school the next day. It wasn't a very stressful day at school, so he didn't have a lot of work to do. And then he was playing catch-up on Saturday in regards to schoolwork with my husband, and could not focus, couldn't read simple words, had trouble with math issues. And then we thought, hey, maybe this is something more, and we took him to Sarasota Memorial Hospital to basically check into it further.
And Mitchell, I mean, I could only imagine what was going through your mind. I mean, you know, what were your emotions?
I definitely cried for a little bit. I was sad. I thought it was something I thought it was gonna be something much worse, and I thought it was like the end result is like death. But then I kind of relaxed when I found out it was a stroke.
Dr. Torres, the literature says the most difficult part in this is the recognition of what is happening, because you would never assume that a kid this age is having a stroke.
Absolutely. In pediatric patients, it's even harder to diagnose a stroke because you don't think of the typical symptoms. Kids don't present those. When you think about a stroke in an adult, you're thinking, you know, facial droop, the arm drift. You're thinking about the speech disturbance. You don't think about dizziness or maybe a visual change as being a sign of a stroke. So it's definitely harder for it to be diagnosed. Plus, kids usually don't have strokes.
And as we said at the beginning here, there's a good number of cases where you'll never know what the actual cause is. But you know, we talked about in Adam's story that that Mitchell has subsequently been diagnosed with diabetes, and there may be a heart issue. Those are leading contributors?
Absolutely. Even in young kids, it could be congenital heart disease. It could be things like sickle cell anemia. Problems in the blood, clotting disorders in the blood can contribute. An abnormality in the heart, like a patent foraminal valley, which is a small hole in the heart.
Misty, just tell us, in a couple of moments, just the journey that you went in through, not just to treat him, but to find out all the answers you needed to.
Absolutely. Basically, I reached out to the pharmaceutical company I work for. They got me connected with a Mayo Clinic here locally, and the doctors there basically ruled out atrial fib. They took a closer look at his heart, ruled out pulmonary embolisms in his lungs. We also reached out and used other resources, such as a mutual friend that we have with baseball that knew Dr. Concha, who's leading stroke neurologist here locally, and he wanted to take a closer look at Mitch's heart, and basically did a transcranial Doppler, which is a bubble test. It's a little bit more sensitive than the test that they did in the hospital at All Children's, and an emboli came through, which just suggested that maybe he does have a PFO. So we were able to basically get a transesophageal echo, which is just a closer look at his heart, was diagnosed with a very small PFO, and then the journey to CHOP.
And that's a small hole in the heart?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are going to pick up this conversation in just a moment. We are just getting started, but we'll be back right after we check the weather.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Julia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Our discussion of why teens may suffer strokes continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. A beautiful day out on the bay today. Lots of sunshine out there, and not as bad as far as the pollution goes. There's a little bit more mixing going on as a result of a storm system developing over the southern plains stage, which is causing all sorts of problems, by the way, with severe weather, tornadoes through Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas City. But for us, a different story here. No rain. We could use some rain. We don't want the severe weather they're seeing, but we want to see a little bit of this coming to our weather picture. We may get a little bit of it, and it'll happen on Sunday or Saturday late, Sunday morning early. There's a chance for a few showers passing through as the front makes its way into our region. Now, no rain to speak of right now, and looks like it'll stay that way on Friday. 84 degrees right now. We have fair skies, and the dew point temperature is at 62. Winds are out of the northwest at 12, and the pressure 2999. That is holding steady right now. And the high today did go above average, 88 degrees, the average high at 85. 92 the record set back in 2012, and our low this morning was right at it. And as far as the rainfall goes, there's a deficit, 9.04 inches for the year, and over a foot below average if you go back to October. Well, a little bit more cloudiness around tomorrow. Temperatures will be somewhat cooler, more closer to average, into the mid-80s for highs, and that's a direct result of getting a little bit more southwesterly flow throughout the morning hours and even into the early afternoon. But generally light winds overnight, and then by 10 o'clock you'll start to see more of a westerly component all the way across the region, and that keeps temperatures into the mid-80s because the water temperature now right around 81 degrees, and as the air moves over the water, it keeps things a little bit cooler, so we're looking for that tomorrow. We'll take what we can get as far as temperatures go. And getting a look at the boating forecast, winds out of the southwest at 10 knots. We'll have a light chop on the bays and inland waters, and sunset will be at 8:09. Sunrise will be at 6:43. The next high tide will be at 3 a.m. and then one at 1:07 tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, mostly fair and 69, and then for tomorrow, sunshine, high of 84, and just a few more clouds around in the afternoon. The extended forecast calling for that slight chance for showers late Saturday and into early Sunday. Good for Mother's Day, and then we warm to 90 by Wednesday. Alan will be right back after this.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Drive into Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota and discover big savings during the Drive and Discover event. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or get more legroom and maximum comfort with a new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieve a Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Today, the air is perfect. Inside. Expect more from your cooling and heating. Daikin.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing strokes among children and teenagers. Our guests tonight are Mitchell Sandlin, his dad Bill, and Dr. Carla Torres, a neurologist with the First Physicians Group of Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Mitchell, first, as you were recovering from this, where was your desire to actually return to baseball?
Honestly,
I think within probably about 2 weeks or 3 weeks after visiting with the stroke team and kind of looking at some of the options that he had out there, his desire was there. His question was
if I could still play baseball.
If he could still play baseball.
And doctor, I mean, when you're dealing with young people who have suffered this, what are your considerations? What should parents be aware of? And is, you know, how often is the outcome as good as it turned out to be here?
Well, quite often, thankfully, the brain, as Dr. Concha mentioned earlier in his interview, in kids or teenagers, there's plasticity, so that brain has that ability to make those connections utilizing other neurons in other areas. So the recovery, a lot of the times, it's almost nearly complete, where you would be able to look at a patient and not really tell that they've had a stroke. So outcome in teenagers, kids, is quite often very, very good.
So Bill and Mitchell, tell me about the rehabilitation. Where did you go? What did you do? And how did you make it back out to the field?
We went to All Children's Hospital and All Children's in Sarasota, and we did speech rehab, some physical things, and
From there, from the baseball side of it, we would start out after we were cleared that he could actually play baseball. And it did take a little convincing on our part to the doctors that he's a pitcher only. So let's see if he can get back on the mound. A lot of work in the front yard, just him and I throwing back and forth to each other. From there, he had a pitching coach that was here locally that he'd worked with previously up until the stroke, and we re-engaged with him. Worked with him basically on a weekly basis all the way up until summer ball, which started with all of us here last year. And then from that first part of summer, the Memorial Day weekend was basically his first time on the mound. So that was about a 2.5 months of not being on the mound. He went up on a scrimmage game, and I think he was very apprehensive to be out on the field and on the mound, but he made it through his 2 innings. And needed some work, as he could tell and we could tell, and I think most of it was in the vision part of it. And one of the secrets we kept from everyone was that he couldn't see the catcher's glove. I basically kept it between him and myself, and nobody else knew about it, because I knew that that could be rehabbed, and I didn't want it to get in the way from any coaching aspect side of the baseball.
I mean, how scary is that? Because when you're releasing the ball, you not only you want to see where the ball is going, but you're also there's a chance that the ball is going to come right back at you.
It's very scary, actually. That's what I was thinking about most of the time, and I was also nervous that I was going to hit a bunch of hitters in a row and fail the team, really. So.
Which it did happen. I mean, he did, his first outing, he did hit a few more than he's ever hit probably in his life. And some of the kids, you know, knew that what had happened to him within, so they kind of, I think, gave him a little bit of a break.
Doctor, how often do kids who have strokes like this are able to make it back to basically you know, sports that are not only competitive, but you know, baseball, like football and basketball, these are contact sports?
Very often, I don't have an exact percentage, but like I said before, very often, because a lot of the times they're able to recover completely from the deficits, especially patients who have a visual field deficit, a lot of the times are able to recover their vision quite to the point where they're able to compensate for that lack of vision that would remain. A lot of them can completely regain most of their vision where it doesn't affect them anymore. It takes time, weeks, months, but it's definitely something that can be done.
And that's what I'd hope for, that he could compensate for that vision or gain it back after talking to the doctors, because I guess within about a month of his stroke, we did go through a battery of eye tests and realized that there was going to be a deficit, not knowing how long this would take.
Where does it stand now?
Back about 7 to 8 months after the stroke, we had it retested, and he was about a 3 to 4% deficit on the upper right quadrants of both eyes, which is excellent. I mean, as good as vision as most of us have. So that was a blessing, and allowed him to drive again too,
right,
which was another.
Especially for a
teenager who
Mitchell, when did you feel that you were back normal on the mound and able to compete like you were before, and what did that feel like?
It was in the middle of the summer, and that was when I gained back some weight, some muscle, and I didn't have any deficit in my eye. And it felt great, honestly. I was so excited. I wanted to play baseball all the time, like every day.
And as you well know, travel ball in the summer, we have tournaments every weekend.
Right.
So we did throughout the summer. When we were back home, he would work out either at the gym, personal trainer, on the field, myself, with his pitching instructor. And we did a lot at the house, just throwing in the nets, throwing the targets.
Right. Now, as we said earlier, this may or may not have been caused by a heart issue, a small hole in the heart. What's the treatment for that? And are there any long-term implications for it?
There is some treatments out there at his age and the size of the hole in the heart. We opted out of doing that now just because of the size of it and the difficulty to get in there and repair it. And talking to, as my wife said earlier, we did a little bit more research on it, follow up with other institutes, and it was kind of leave it alone unless something happens again, was really because you could do a little bit more damage by trying to repair it at the size of the hole.
Right. Now, doctor, is this something that patients are eventually going to have to deal with?
A lot of the times we opt not to repair those, we leave the decision up to the cardiology team, but we communicate with each other and voice our opinions. But a lot of the times these patent foraminal volleys, or PFOs, are not surgically repaired. A lot of the times patients go on a baby aspirin kind of daily regimen, and some patients go on blood thinners or anticoagulation.
Now, we talked about that this only happens to about 11 out of every 100,000
yes.
young people, but how often do you see that here in Sarasota?
Well, I'm an adult neurologist, so a lot of the times I'm not seeing pediatric, so I can't really comment. We see lots of strokes at Sarasota Memorial in our older patients.
And a lot of different causes.
Absolutely.
All right.
A lot of them are still cryptogenic, where we don't know the cause, though.
Right. And Mitchell, what would you say to young people who, whether it's a stroke or something else, want to make it back to what they were doing before?
Keep on trying. It's all about consistency and just not letting that little voice in your head that's telling you to give up, don't give into it, and just do what you want to do. Don't let anything stop you.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, Aqua by the Bay.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Daddy! Happy Mother's Day!
Thank you, sweetie.
Happy Mother's Day.
Exceed your mom's expectations this Mother's Day with flowers from Beneva Flowers and Gifts.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Strokes can happen to just about anyone, but they're rare among children and teenagers. But they do happen. Mitchell Sandlin is a prime example of that, suffering one at age 16. What can you do to lower your risk for yourself and your family? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And I guess the obvious question, doctor, is what do you look out for?
You look for headaches, you look for dizziness, for weakness on one side of your body, numbness, tingling, slurred speech, word finding difficulty. Bottom line, if you think that your child or a loved one is having a stroke, get them to the hospital, or even something neurologic. Not necessarily, it may not cross your mind, but if you think there's a problem, take them to the hospital, take them to the emergency room.
And Bill, I can only imagine what a parent goes through, number one, to save their child, make sure that they recover, let alone get back to what they were doing before.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming from the standpoint of finding out your child has had a stroke, from that journey to get them from where they were to where he is now. It's a long journey. We've had the support of friends, family, or faith. It's all what I can do is tell a parent is, believe in your kids, give them the opportunity to do what they want to do, and help them succeed with their goals.
And you should be proud of this one.
Yeah.
Mitchell, final words from you in terms of being able to get back to the sport that you loved for so many years now, and to graduate with your high school class.
It was very important to me to graduate with my high school class and to finish up my high school baseball career. And what I would say to other people that are going through hard times and want to continue what they were doing before is if I can do it, you can do it, and you could even do it better.
Okay, that's a great place to leave it. Thank you very much for being here. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, Aqua by the Bay. The proposed 2,900 home development would be built on the largest remaining stretch of mangrove-lined shore on Sarasota Bay. It's the pet project of developer Carlos Baruf, who originally pushed to develop the site as Long Bar Point. The new proposal is heading back to the Planning Commission after it was revealed commissioners were not aware of the actual size of the project. Here's what some of you are saying. Ron Quinn writes, this developer changes the name and is trying to shove it down our throats again. Let's see how much money talks again and BS walks. There goes the last pristine waterfront. Way too much development in Manatee County. Kiki Louise writes, it will make the county much more financially prosperous and save the preserve. Hashtag enough said. And Jen Brantley writes, people need to pay attention to who they're voting into office. These county commissioners are approving every last piece of land in this area to be developed. It's disgusting. Has someone in your family suffered a stroke? Were they young when it happened? Join tonight's conversation by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, you can watch past roundtable discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight, Mitchell and Bill Sandlin and their mom, Misty, and Dr. Carla Torres, a neurologist with First Physicians Group at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus more than 16 feet long, a python hunter in the Everglades wrangled this massive snake. Find out what he had to say and why these hunters are fighting an uphill battle in our primetime headlines.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean really moves me.
one.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our weather from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. I tell you, we are looking at some rain chances coming into the picture late Saturday as a result of this storm system, which is now producing the possibility, anyway, of thunderstorms up to winds up to 60 miles an hour, even some small tornadoes possible with this area of low pressure. Lots of hail reported already into Missouri, Arkansas, stretching down into Texas tonight. That weather will eventually move into our area, not like that, but we will see some shower activity with it in the state of Florida come Saturday. Right now, no rain around at all, and it's going to stay dry through this evening. 84, clear skies, sun getting ready to set here in about 15, 20 minutes from now, and winds out of the northwest at 12. The pressure 29.99 inches, fairly high, and it's holding steady for the most part. The high was 88, above average, or normal high 85, and the record 92. And the forecast tomorrow, we'll see just a little bit more cloudiness around, not a lot. It'll still be a great day for the beach. Temperatures into the low 80s to mid 80s, so a little bit cooler tomorrow. And the reason why is we're going to see winds out of the southwest a little sooner, and that will allow us to get temperatures to be into the low 80s. Water temperature now at 81 degrees and won't have that easterly component. Tonight, look for low temperatures in the upper 60s across the region to right around 70 degrees at area beaches. I mentioned that southwesterly flow. For the most part, light and variable overnight, and then become more west-southwesterly, becomes more west-southwesterly throughout time on Friday as the result of that front getting close to us. Right now, severe storms east of Dallas. You can see that rough weather blowing up right there. There are severe thunderstorm warnings, and the watch boxes are out ahead of that line of severe storms. Now moving through Texas. There were some tornadoes reported just north of Tulsa. There's one severe thunderstorm warning in place right there into Oklahoma. For us, high pressure, which has been in control over the last several days, is going to shift off to the east, allowing this storm system with its front to move on in. And this happens on into Saturday afternoon. You'll see as we move through time, things start to cloud up here, 2:30 in the afternoon. Still looking pretty good for us on Saturday And then Saturday late afternoon, early evening, a chance just for a few showers and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, but not much. Temperatures cooler in Boston and Buffalo, 40s and 50s there, 60s in Chicago. And right now it's 79 in Billings and 61 in Wichita. Omaha at 72 and Dallas at 88 degrees. Forecast for boaters, it looks good. Winds will be rather light out there, and so will the seas. They have a light chop in the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 81 degrees. A low tide upcoming, and sunset at 8:09 and sunrise at 6:43. Mostly fair, 69 for your low. Tomorrow, sunny skies in the morning, a few clouds in the afternoon, and highs into the low to mid 80s. The extended forecast calling for a chance for showers. Not much on into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Al will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
Come on in, welcome to our pad. Trust me, folks, you're in for a ride. I'm driving, so relax. Unwind, leave your buckets all behind. Get ready to blow your mind. In Beatsville, don't be shy. Come and make the scene. Catch the crazy party inside. The hipsters here are gone and dig, man, they're on to something big. Yeah, they're gonna flip your wig in Beatsville. Catch the gig in Beatsville.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Today, the air is perfect. Inside. Expect more from your cooling and heating. Daikin.
Now for your primetime headlines. In the days following the firing of FBI Director James Comey, the White House offered two main reasons for his termination. Today, the president himself and the acting FBI director are calling those explanations into question. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from the Capitol.
Initially, the White House claimed James Comey was fired at the recommendation of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. But speaking to NBC News, President Trump said that was never the case.
He made a recommendation, but regardless of recommendation, I was going to fire Comey.
The White House also said Comey had to go because he was not supported by FBI staff.
The rank and file of the FBI had lost confidence in their director.
But the new acting director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, said that was not accurate.
I can tell you that I hold Director Comey in the absolute highest regard. Director Comey enjoyed broad support within the FBI and still does to this day.
There is one reason for Comey's dismissal that has Democrats and even some Republicans concerned: Comey's role heading up the Russia investigation. This is now prompting some who previously opposed an independent investigation to rethink the suggestion.
We have got to get rid of this cloud over this country. This is in the best interest of the president. It's the best interest of the Republicans or Democrats. We're in a bad place.
Meanwhile, the president's other comments calling Comey a showboat are not sitting well with members of either party at the Senate Intelligence Committee.
I'm offended at the president's comments today.
I found him to be one of the most ethical
upright, straightforward individuals I've had the opportunity to work with.
And many here at the Capitol are also questioning the president's assertion that he was told by Comey he was not the subject of investigation. They say that would be out of character for Comey. And now there is also at least one formal request that Rosenstein clarify the role he played in Comey's firing. Reporting from the Capitol, Lana Zach, ABC News.
In New Jersey, a deadly standoff is now carrying on to its second day. Gunfire has echoed through the streets of Trenton since Wednesday morning when police attempted to serve a warrant. The 35-year-old suspect, Talib Reese, allegedly started shooting from inside the house. Officers hid behind cars, but a bystander was shot and killed. Neighbors and police are hoping for a peaceful end to the situation.
Give him a chance to live. You know, we don't want to see him get killed.
Negotiations are ongoing. And in terms of progress, we're all hoping for a peaceful resolution.
3 police officers were also hurt but released from the hospital. Police believe Reese is injured. They brought in his mother to help negotiators. New developments in the trial of former Florida Congresswoman Corrine Brown. A jury has found her guilty of taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from a charity that was supposed to be used for scholarships to poor students. Instead, Brown used the money for lavish parties, trips, and shopping excursions. Brown was found guilty on 18 of 22 counts, including lying on tax forms. Brown, the Democrat, represented Jacksonville since 1993. 17 bills are being sent to Governor Rick Scott's desk this week, including one removing Depression-era policies banning liquor sales at grocery stores. The measure repeals a 1934 law requiring liquor stores to be stand-alone businesses. It passed the Senate by 4 votes and the House by just 1 vote during the legislative session. Major retailers Walmart and Target lobbied for the bill, but small liquor stores say it will force them out of business.
Walmart has a competitive edge. They buy in such large quantities that there's no way the person with 2 or 3 liquor stores can compete with them price-wise.
Opponents say shoplifting is more prevalent at big box stores and could make it easier for teens to get access to hard liquor. Despite tragic headlines from the Orlando region, tourism actually grew in Florida's theme park mecca last year. More than 68 million visitors came to the area, a 3% increase over 2015. Last summer was tough for the city. In the span of a week, there was the Pulse nightclub shooting, the death of a toddler killed by an alligator at Disney World, and the fatal shooting of singer Christina Grimmie after a concert. 16 feet, 10 inches long and 130 pounds, an Everglades python hunter is showing off his catch, the biggest since the current eradication effort began. Dusty Wildman, yes, that's his name, Wildman Crumb, holding this giant python. He works for the South Florida Water Management District, which pays hunters a minimum wage, little more than $8 an hour. However, this also incentives for catching snakes longer than 4 feet, $25 for every foot above. That's $375 for the wild man.
It's like Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania.
Man, son, that's a big one. Biggest snake I ever caught in my life right here.
There are thousands of invasive pythons in the Everglades. Wildman doesn't get the record for the largest python captured. The biggest was 18 feet, 2 inches. You could keep that job. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Good night.